Hey there, today I'll be showing you how to draw Funtime Freddy from FNAF Sister Location. So we're going to start in the middle of the face with the nose. Starting from the left towards the right, we're going to draw a curve for the top of the nose. And then we're going to take these 2 points and converge towards a center point here with a curve. Starting on the left side, we'll curve in towards the middle, and we'll curve up towards the right side. Now up here on the left side, we're going to draw an oval for highlights. Imagine the light coming down at an angle this way. It'll pick up a highlight up on the top left. We're going to go ahead and color in the nose black. Now that we have the nose, we're going to start drawing in the muzzle. But before we draw on the sides of the muzzle, I want to figure out how thick the muzzle should be. So I'm going to draw a line straight down the middle from the bottom of the nose down to where I think the bottom of the muzzle will be. So right about there. So now from the corners of the nose, I'm going to curve out down to the same height as that center line. Starting on the left, I'll curve out and curve down. Do the same thing on the right side. So curving out, and then we're just going to come down to the same height. And then from these points, we're going to connect them with a curve that goes down. So going down and then back up in the middle. Do the same thing on the right side, so curving around. Now that we have that in place, let's draw in the eye sockets. So just on either side of the nose, we're going to draw a curve going up. So curving up on the left. We'll do the same thing on the right side, so curving up on the right, making sure that they're at the same height. From the tops, we're just going to round out the side of the eye socket. So curving around, almost like a half circle. Curve around on the right side. Now from here, we're going to draw in the eyeball. So let's go ahead from the inside here. We're going to draw the eyeballs as circles, but we're going to pull them inside, tucking them in the inner side of the eye socket. So starting up here, I'm going to round out and pull that into the nose muzzle. Do the same thing on the right side. So curving around. From here, let's draw in the eyelids. So up here, I'm just going to draw a little curve from the left towards the inner side of the socket. Do the same thing on the right side. Now we're going to draw in the pupil and the iris. So we're just going to draw a little circle touching the top of this eyelid, curving around, and then back up to the top. Let's do the same thing on the right side. Starting from the top, curving down, and then back up to the top. We're going to draw that same highlight, so the light's coming down this way, so the highlight's going to hit the top left side of the iris. We're going to draw a circle, and we're going to draw the pupil just tucked in underneath this highlight, so a smaller circle inside the center of the iris. Drawing a curve like that, and we'll color that in black. Do the same thing on the right side. So I'll highlight, and we'll tuck in a pupil underneath in the center of the iris. Okay, so we got the eyes. Let's draw the trim around the eyes. So just outside the socket, we're just going to draw a curve that goes up, and then from here, we're just going to round out outside the perimeter of the eye socket. So carefully curving around. Do the same thing on the other side, so curving up, and then we're going to come around on the outside of the right eye, curving around like this. From here, we're going to draw the separation between the cheek area and the upper skull. So from this point where we ended off this trim, we're just going to draw a curve going out. Do the same thing on that side. Now we're going to draw the center line for the split in between the skull. So in the middle here, I want to just figure out how high I want the head, so roughly about here. So I'm just going to start at the top and just pull a line straight down into the nose area. From this point to the top, we're going to draw a curve, but we're going to pull the curve as we get towards the center. We're going to pull it down a little bit. So we're going to go up with a curve. Now we're going to make our way in towards that center. So you see I'm going a little bit higher than that line, and we're going to pull that back in so it creates a little hump. Do the same thing on the right side. So curving up. We'll pull this down to the side of the head like that. From here, let's draw on some eyebrows. We're going to draw some curved eyebrows above the eye socket. So just on the left side here, draw a curve. And on the inside edge, we're going to draw a curve that goes up. From this point to that top, we're going to create a curve that just sort of tapers out. Let's do the same thing on this side. So with this side on the right, we're going to start with the inside curve first. From here, we're going to curve down towards the outside of the eye. We're going to go back up to the top and then just draw that curve down to that point. Okay, so we got the eyes, we got the eyebrows. Let's get into the cheek area. So on either side of the muzzle, I'm going to draw an oval for the cheeks. So leaving a little gap here, we're going to draw a little cheek on the side. Drawing an oval, starting from the top, curve down, and then back up to the top again. Let's go over to the right side and do the same thing, making sure that they're lined up at the top and at the bottom. So right about here, curve down, and then back up to the top. Now we're just going to draw in the cheeks behind these cheekbones. So up here, curve in towards the top of that oval. Do the same thing on the right side. Now you're going to just see this come down a little bit just below this cheek. So what we're going to do is line up with this line here, come down with a straight little short line, and we'll go straight across to that point in the muzzle. Going across and straight up. Let's go into the lower jaw. So the jaw split in two. So we're going to draw two bones that come in this way towards the center line here. Starting on the inside here, we're going to curve and come across straight. As we get towards the center, we're going to dip it down. So coming down like this. So making sure it's lined up. Let's do the same thing on the right side. So going across. And then from here, we're just going to curve this up and tuck that in underneath the upper jaw. From here, we're going to come across and we're going to join up in the middle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the middle, draw a short line like this for the split in the jaw. From here, we're going to step over a little bit, draw a curve going around, and it gets wider as we get towards the front of the face. And here, we're just going to curve up, so it kind of looks like it's separated. Do the same thing on the right side. So going up, just going to curve up like this, and then tuck this underneath the top jaw. We're going to go ahead and draw in some teeth. So the teeth has some separations in it. So we're going to start with the left side first. We draw two lines, equal length. We're going to cap it off by creating a curve to join the teeth. Leave a little gap here and draw two more lines again. And the teeth could be various lengths. It doesn't have to be exactly the same length. Over here, I'll tuck one up here. Draw a curve. And then one more, I'm just going to tuck in behind. So it's overlapping behind that tooth there. Let's do the same thing on this side. So two lines. Curve, leave a little gap, two lines, curve, and then one other set here, and then we're going to tuck the last row in behind like that. We're going to go and color this in later. So from this point, let's go ahead and draw in the ears. So it's almost like a round ear that's stuck on using a hinge, but on the sides here, it's going to stick out right about here, big, almost like an oval. We're going to start with the inside edge first. Starting at the top, we'll curve to the bottom. From here, I want to join these 2 points with a curve. It goes all the way around, almost like a circle. And when inside here, we're going to just trace the outer perimeter with a little gap all the way around. So an even gap all the way around the ear, like that. To connect the ear to the head, all we need to do is draw two lines side by side, sort of aim towards the center of the skull. Let's go ahead and draw that exact same thing flipped over on the right side. Starting from the top, making sure they're lined up, draw a curve. Now we're going to draw that curve connecting the two lines all the way around, just like that. And then two lines just connecting it. And then we're just going to draw the inner ear detail by trimming out the inside. Just like that. Now let's get into the top hat. So because the face is facing forward, the hat's going to sort of sit in behind the head a little. So on either side of these peaks, I'm going to draw two short lines of equal length going up. I'm going to connect those 2 points with a curve. It goes across. And then from here, I'm going to draw the sides of the hat. So stepping in on the left side, I'll draw a straight line. On the right, I'll draw a straight line. And again, I'm going to connect those 2 points with a curve for the top of the hat. We're going to draw a little band up here, so curve, leave a gap, and draw the exact same curve just above it. To finish this off, I'm going to draw a little bow tie in here. So we're going to do a rounded square just below this chin. So leaving a gap here from left to right, we'll draw a curve. From the top left, we're going to curve out. From the top right, we'll curve out towards the right. Connect those 2 points with a curve that comes down in the middle. For the bows, all we need to do is take this corner and curve out, touching the chin. Draw the same thing on the right side. We're going to come down with two curves. One curve on the left and one curve on the right. And we'll pull these right in underneath that bow knot. Like this. And then on the right. And then we're just going to draw a little wrinkle. So up here, just draw a curve like that, pulling out. Same thing on the right. And that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Funtime Freddy from FNAF sister location. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please give us a like and share this with your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.